You know, from this link you sent to me for I read there that they even said up to 77% of Nigerian women are bleaching their skin. That is too much.
Yeah.
That is too much.
Yeah.
It is too much. It is one way or the other. There was a point in your life, even if you're not bleaching, there was a point in your life you bought that cream or that soap. You know, I used to always use because I'm very sensitive on my skin. While growing up, you know, I don't take yogurt because if I take yogurt,
I was never sensitive on my skin.
Oh, I am. And my mom always had to buy either Dove or Nivea. If I had rubbed anything else, either in cream or soap, I would break out. And then I went to school. I went to Polytechnic Nekede.
Okay.
And my friend then, I used to see her use the Skin Success. She's a fair person naturally, but then with the Skin Success,
she's then fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. And then she was like, hey, come buy. She was using a Fair White. There's a soap called Fair White.
Okay.
And Fair White. Yeah, Fair White.
Fair White.
Yeah, that's the name of the soap.
That's the name of the soap.
Fair White has orange.
Okay.
It has orange, it has blue, and it has white.
Nice.
So,
okay.
She used to use the blue, and it smells really nice, like orange. So I was like, hey, let me use this. And I used it, nothing happened to me. And I was like, oh, my skin problem has gone. I used it, nothing happened, but it was expensive. At that time, it was 800 naira. And I'm like, no, good, that didn't know. If I use this money and buy soap, it's gone.
That's an expensive soap, Princess. Sorry.
Yeah, she used to cut her soap a bit, like into half and then another half.
Okay.
As in the half into another half.
Yeah.
And then she would give it to me and I would so love it. She was like, oh, you can buy it. No, you could buy it. I was like, okay, when I go to Lagos, I'll buy it. So when I went back home, you have to write a list before you go back to school. I wrote a list and I wrote Fair White soap. Mommy came back and said, hey, Chorizo, Otuncha, 800 naira. She gave Choya like just one. Normally, you know, you buy like 3 or 4 going back to school. She gave me one. I was like, one is okay. So I'm cutting it. I didn't see any reaction like on my skin. I wasn't getting fair like her.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, this one, is it the hard one or is the soft one? She said, normally it's supposed to be the hard one. I said, it's not reacting on my skin. And then she said the orange one wasn't doing anything. It's just a nice soap. It doesn't do anything. I decided to go for the orange one. And I was using the orange. Orange was cheaper, 500. And I was using that one till I left Nigeria. So, what I just said is that it's you one way or the other in your life, you will get to use it. As a girl growing up, it's not because maybe you want to change your skin, but because the fact that you see someone else's skin and you're like, oh, I like it, or that person influences you, just need a tweak, just a little, and you use it, or you go to the stores. You do not want to use Lux and Joy soap, like, I want to upgrade, you know, and then you use the soap. And to look at the statistics, that 77% is too much. That means the remaining 23% that have not used the soaps are unborn children. You know, this is really, and they did a study to it and found out that even when you give kids dolls, black and white dolls, they take the white dolls. I had white dolls while growing up. So it's a standard, like a standard that you do not even, you're not aware of, but it's there. So when someone says, hey, you do not want to change your skin color or something, it is when you are then grown. I started using, for me, myself, I started using my own soap and my own creams. I do my cream myself. That means I just use oil on my skin. Shea butter and orange oil I do myself, or pineapple oil I do myself. And I've started using it since 2019. I found out that here anyways, you of course you have access to creams and soap, but the normal stores, your normal druggery stores here sells you Nivea that all white people use it. Yeah. And before you go to an African store, for me, I have to go like 1.5 hours to Frankfurt to go and get African soaps and creams that are, but I didn't use it for years, and it went in my skin. I went to Nigeria 2019, and the sun, I thought I was giving birth there, but the sun did not even let me breathe or use a cream on my body or soap on my body, and I found out that I was shining. My skin was so good because that sun was so good for the skin. I decided when I came back, I'm no more using any soap, any cream I buy from the stores.
Yeah.
No more. So now I just use oil. I do coffee oil myself. I do orange oil or pineapple oil myself, and that's what I use. Olive oil, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how many of us will come to this realization that you do not need anything? And shea butter, you don't need anything. He needs worry.
But
okay. It's over.
It brings up also a different discussion being something like this, okay? Okay, let's say now, I'm not light-skinned, neither are you. Or do you, I don't know, what do you think, okay? We can agree there. I'm not light-skinned. I'm just, Princess, come on, it's possible that you hit it on me now and be like, I'm light-skinned, can't you see it, okay? So, I'm not light-skinned, okay? I'm not light-skinned, neither are you. So, that means we are speaking also from our own perspective, okay? I remember I had this discussion with my younger sister once. We had a very the day it came up about light skin, because she's light skin, and I could see her taking this defensive position of like, no, it's not right. People are just people. There's nothing involved. I don't see them being privileged or anything. I just think I'm who I am. What do you think? If a light skinned person should have been involved in this discussion, or for the light skinned people who also be watching the podcast, who will be like, I don't think I'm being privileged. I don't think there is any problem. And I'm just the way God created me. If people want to change their color, how can I help them? How is it my fault? Not even identifying that they are speaking from a position of privilege, okay? Because you're not the other side and you don't know how it feels the other side. What makes the other people who are there to feel like coming over to this side? Why do you think they come up with that argument? Because that's like an argument. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, how can you say that? What do you think about that opinion? It's just like a typical example what I have heard about. I've heard from light-skinned people, or what I'll call it, a fair person.
Okay, I was a light-skinned child, right? And somebody asked my child and say, Princess, my child, and say, hey, you're being privileged. You're having privileges that we the dark people do not have. Funny enough, I'm going to be like, does she have a problem with that?
Yeah.
I think, from my point of view, I think it is actually not. It's actually not their problem. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't ask for this. They were born that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And when they have these privileges, like, for example, there is one rich man coming to a light-skinned girl with a bunch of money. Like, no, I don't want the money because my black-skinned counterpart don't have that money. No. It's just like a pretty girl. A pretty girl has privileges that she knows about. She knows because she's fine. Mm-hmm. She's a pretty woman or a pretty girl. That's why. Like, a normal girl would go to a place and nobody will even give her the light of the day. But a fine girl could walk in anywhere and get it. Not because she's intelligent, not because she has anything, just because she is fine.
Because of her looks,
and she knows. Yeah. So now, a light-skinned girl would give you the same response you just spoke about. I do not have anything to do about it. Yeah, it came. Yeah, and the dark-skinned counterpart, like, there was an argument that we had, and somebody was saying, hey, look at the light-skinned girls. They are married very fast.
And they're right. And they're right. It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
They are married very fast.
It happens, yeah.
And the dark-skinned girls are still there, and men are doing, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, wait,
but they're right. They are right.
But then, when you say that they shouldn't say that. I don't think they, I think we could argue about this from morning till night. It's always like when someone is being abused and you're telling the abused, hey, why can't you stand up for yourself? Why are you not talking to the abuser? That's just the same thing here. We need to talk to ourselves and see, Princess, do you also do it? Do you prefer a light-skinned person to a dark-skinned person?
Do you treat the person differently? Do you treat the person differently? Yeah.
My crush was phenotype. No,
still your crush or was your crush?
It's my
Okay, still your crush. Okay, continue. No problem. I just wanted to find out.
So, I'm not gonna anybody. And the other person was this guy. Osara Vinge. There's this guy that used to play football.
Oh, okay,
Peter.
yeah.
Peter Osara Vinge. I had them in my room. I had them pasted in my room. But it's not because maybe they were fair. I don't know.
Why are you attracted to fair men? It's like an unconscious decision.
No person comes to me. Okay, yeah. But no person comes to me. So now there is your preference, and then there is things that come into you.
Exactly. What made it your preference? I think that's the question that bothers me. Let me tell you a story. There's this lady here in Germany. Her first daughter, when I mean dark, it's just like not dark, just my color, just my skin color. And the second daughter, so fair. And I've watched her once praising the second daughter. She looked at the second daughter and was like, "Oh, she will be the next Miss Germany." And I've never seen her make that comment to the first one. So I feel like it's sort of like this unconscious behavior, whereby you are pushing towards this idea. You find yourself preferring this one, or even as a man, okay, you find yourself treating a light-skinned woman better without even knowing it. It's like unconsciously you're doing it. And then you're like, and everybody will answer the question about preferences. You are allowed to have your preferences. But what's that unconscious decisions or conscious thoughts going on inside your head which pushes you towards that direction?
Yeah, it's this thing you're talking about happens when we're still kids, in school. And then your friend will be like, "Darky, come here, Joe. Blackie, come here. See as you black like charcoal.
Yeah.
See as you, all those words, whether we like it or not, it stays.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And then you see the finding, even the light skin too, they also have problems. I'm not gonna lie to you, they also have problems. When you call it Oyibo Pepe, says just the shine.
I don't know if it's a problem because actually it's like more of a compliment. It's a compliment.
It could be a compliment, but sometimes the dark ones too are jealous. They are either jealous.
It pulls a negative energy. I understand what I'm trying to say, but it's also a compliment.
Or in this light of when they are calling them Oyibo Pepe, says they shine like sun. It's also a negative connotation for them because
really, okay,
yes, it is
okay.
It is. I don't know. I have cousins who are fair, and I see the dark ones maybe abusing them like Icheshi, oh my god. Because for them, it's not good. It's not their fault that they are fair. Get me, bring me to this world fair. It's not their fault, but they also get those kind of things because I've watched in the USA where the darker ones actually attack the lighter skinned people. So this time around, it's not the lighter ones doing the things. It's the darker ones who feel that, because you are preferred, I need to bring you down for me to go up. That's not how it should
Not
work.
even to bring down, just like do something bad. It's not about bringing down. It's just like out of vengeance, out of frustration. I think. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's good. Okay, everybody, it's beautiful and good the way they look. That's the thing.
I think it is. I imagine. And in that Miss Hostel that time, there was my friend. I don't know if she's going to ever listen to this podcast, but Joy Issei, this girl is beautiful. So dark. so dark, so beautiful, and her natural hair is coily. She has a coily natural hair that for us Nigerians is not normal, right?
Oh, okay.
Her hair is coily. She would come to school in the beginning of the school, and the teachers would cut her hair just to prove a point and say, "Why is your hair coily? You put relaxer."
Oh,
She's
okay.
like, "No, that's how it is." But among us, her mates, I'm sure, I know when they are listening to me, they will know that some of them were jealous of her. Like, why she's so dark, fine, and has coily hair. And they wanted to do this Miss Hostel in our SS2 or so. And they didn't want to take her. They wanted to take somebody else that was lighter skin, lean, tall.
Okay.
And they said, hey, they have to relax her hair to do this Miss Hostel. She said, no, I've never put relaxer on my hair. I know. I can still feel it like on that day. Like, I'm talking about this stuff right now. And the girls refused. They refused. They said, she's just doing she used to relax it before she come. And then, so they said one of the qualifications to do it is to put relaxer on the hair. They put relaxer on this girl hair. I've never seen it before. Like, as they put that relaxer on her head, you know, curls.
Yeah.
Like the curls on the head. When you've done it, the curls will then come apart. Hers were like one side, one big coil, one side, one big coil. You would comb it would go back.
Oh.
Like, and she had fever.
Oh.
Immediately they washed that relaxer off. We didn't do that Miss Hostel again because we were all scared that she was going to die. She had fever, her eyes were red, and then the girl started running away like, it's not me that said it though, it's not me that said she put relaxer on. And that taught me a lesson, like, why? Is it because she is dark? It's not normal for dark people to be that fine. And she has coily hair, and the girls insisted on making sure that she relaxed that hair that she has never done before. So you see that even when you're dark and fine, there's always a problem too. Because they'll be like, you're dark, you're fine. Why? Let us choose the lighter person. Because maybe this lighter person will bring us forward or something. So it's just like when Agbani Derego won stuff, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Tell people who she is, okay? Before you continue, please.
You know? So
who is she? There might be some people who don't know who you're talking about, okay?
Okay, Agbani Derego won in 2000, right?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think she won in 2000 the Miss World.
Oh, okay.
And she comes from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And she's from, I think, Port Harcourt or something. Yeah, Rivers. Yeah. So she won the Miss World, and she is the only black person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has won the Miss World. So, and she was dark, or she is dark. She's still alive.
Yeah.
Dark, beautiful, and she won it, and it was like a surprise. And till now, I guess nobody still believes it, but yeah, she has it. So it is moderate for people to talk about colorism or don't talk about it because it's like a culture now. Let's just put it like that. It's a culture now. It's a culture that people do not even think. Now they even bleach their kids. Do you know that?
I know about it.
Yeah. There's a celebrity, an Igbo celebrity, right? She has 2 kids, like twins, boys. They are dark, and she then gave birth to a girl.
Okay.
Who is so light. She is so fair. Guess what? She has never posted her other kids. It's only this one she's posting.
I remember what someone told me.
I've been thinking the whole time. Anytime I go on her page, I'm like, why? Why are you even posting this child?
But Princess, it's normal.
Why?
I
Why
remember
are
what
you
someone
posting
told
this
me.
child?
The person gave birth to a child, okay? And sort of like her sister-in-law came over there. And do you know the first thing the sister-in-law did? Because you know normally among us, let me say not among us, but like most of the time, let me say black people or Africans, when you give birth to your child, the child is still fair at those early moments, okay? And so the child was very fair. Do you know what her sister-in-law did? She had to go to look behind the child's ear to see if the child will be dark later on. She was like, oh, she's going to be dark later on. You know, when you hear such things, you know we have a problem. And Jesus Christ, I'm like, start identifying that problem.